So, all right, we're at 2:06. Let's get practicing, everybody. Make sure you can hear me. Make sure you can hear yourself. We're going to put some work in today. Welcome to today's guided practice session. My name is Adam Maness. Today, we are working on chord substitutions. We're working on one particular chord substitution, actually, and it's the kind of king of chord substitutions in modern jazz. It is the tritone substitution. So what is a tritone substitution? Let's start there. It's actually a pretty simple concept. Here we have a 5-1 in the key of B flat. Now, typically a 5-1, right, is F7 to B flat major 7. But we know a tritone away, our B7, the shell, right, the third and the 7 and the third here, in this case, E flat and A, we call that the shell. We call that, or you can call it whatever you want, but those are the kind of the important notes of any chord. They really determine what a chord is, the third and the 7th, right? So we have our F, and our shell is E flat and A, our 7th and our third, or our 3rd and 7th, it doesn't matter. They're the same when you change the root to a tritone away. In this case, the tritone away from F, right, tritone or flat 5, or whatever you want to call it, minor 5th away, is B, and it's the same shell, right? A B7 has a D sharp and an A. D sharp is E flat and harmonically going to that B flat. So it's kind of a cousin of the same chord, right? So a 5 chord, an F7 to B flat, could at any time be replaced by a B7, and that's totally cool. It sounds very natural, actually. You hear that sound all the time. Now you can replace it outright, like if you do a 2-5, a C minor 7 to an F7 to a B flat, you can just replace the F7 altogether with a B7. That's what we're doing today, actually. C minor 7, B7 to B flat major 7. Or you could simply, you could play both in the same bar. There's a ton of ways you can do it. Today we are simply replacing the 5, right, with that flat 2, with its tritone substitution. The first progression we'll do is a 2-5-1 in B flat, and we're going to do C minor 7, B7, B flat major 7. And so that's just a brief description of what an actual tritone substitution is. So when you hear the word tritone sub, that usually means that the 5th, that a 5 chord, right, a 5-1 cadence, that we're replacing at some point that 5 with the flat 2, or it's called its tritone, right? It's flat 5th, right? And it works because they share the same shell. They share those same important notes. The 3rd and the 7th are exactly the same between F7 and B7. So it works really, really well. Okay, so we chose this for a reason today, and that's because I want to work on a very specific voicing and a very specific set of scales that go with this specific voicing. So here's our first key. Again, I said 2-5-1 in the key of B flat. The other day we did some McCoy-Tyner left-hand voicings, and I wanted to put them into context for you a little bit in some functional harmony. So if we have our 2-5-1 in B flat, C minor 7, our B7, remember we're doing the tritone of F, so we've got our B7, and in this case we're doing a B7 sus even, because we know that a dominant 7th chord and a sus chord can kind of be interchangeable. They're the same scales. It's really just having either the 4th in the chord or that major 3rd. So we'll do a C minor 7, and then we'll do a B7 sus, and then we'll do a B flat major 7. Fairly standard 2-5-1. The only kind of real variant in it is that we have that tritone sub in, but that's what's going to make it sound so slick. So the bass movement of this, if you notice, is a chromatic step down, right? C, B, B flat. That's very cool. Now there's a very cool thing we can do as pianists with our left-hand voicings as we do this tritone sub. By the way, the bass player doesn't even have to be in on this. The bass player can just be playing Fs. This is going to sound fine. It's going to sound really good. That's the kind of magic of 5-1s, of dominant chords, is that they can be super tense and go against the grain because they're going to resolve to something pretty, like a lovely B flat major 7. So we might have a moment of tension where the bass player is playing an F and we're playing a B7. Doesn't matter. It's going to sound great. Okay. So, but if we're thinking about this as that tritone sub, there's a cool thing we can do with the chord. So we talked about those McCoy-Tyner voicings in 4ths, right? Just diatonically. Here in C minor 7, if we start our voicing on the 4th itself and go up in 4ths, we have F, B flat, and E flat, right? We have the 11th, we have the 7th, and we have the 3rd. It's a great C minor voicing here. awesome voicing, works really well on that 2 chord. Now, our 5 chord, right, with the tritone sub, that B7 sus, we can just move this voicing up a half step. Now, what's really cool about that, right, that's a B7 sus. Right, we have the 5th, we have the root, and then we have the E. Right? What's cool about this is, our root is moving down in half steps, and our voicing moves up in half steps. And then for our 1 chord, our root moves down in half steps, and our voicing moves up another half step, right? So we have our B flat major 7. Really, this is a kind of a B flat 6-9 voicing. We have the 6, we have the 9, and we have the 5, G, C, F, right? So the entire 2-5-1 voicing-wise, right? How slick is that? How great is that? Now, it really helps when you have your right hand playing sort of that pentatonic sound. And I've put here as examples the 3 different, kind of the first bog standard pentatonic scales you might choose. Now, the caveat to this, there are a ton of pentatonic scales you could play over all of these chords, right? For C minor, we could do C minor like we have here. We could do G minor. We could do F. We could do, F major. We could do a D minor F major, right? Whatever we wanted to do. We could do a bunch of different pentatonic scales. I'm just choosing sort of the most basic Bob version. So the C minor pentatonic for that C minor 7. Right? For our B7 sus, right, this is based off of a B flat, a B7, right, a B dominant scale. One of the pentatonic scales that I love over this sus sound is from the 5th, the minor pentatonic from the 5th below the root, so the F sharp. Right? So we're going C minor pentatonic on the C minor 7, F sharp minor pentatonic on that B7 sus. And then for our B flat major 7, right, we know that on major 7 chords, the pentatonic, the major pentatonic from a 4th below, right, the F major pentatonic or a 5th above, sounds really good because it has the 9th, it has the 7th, it sounds just great. And you can think about any of these as major or minor pentatonics, the relative major, relative minor. This is just how I think about them. When I started thinking about them, it was C minor pentatonic, F sharp minor pentatonic, and F major pentatonic. So again, all together, our note choices sound like this. Super great, super easy, right? We have 5 notes per chord that we have choices for. We have super easy 3-note voicings that just slide up and down in half steps. And if we want to think about our root movement, it just goes down in half steps. Super fun, right? So let's get practicing. Let's put this into play. Remember, here at Open Studio, we don't think that you can information your way to being a better player. Like maybe this is new information for you. Maybe it's not. But maybe you know this and you can't actually play this sound that great. That's because we need to ingrain the muscle memory. We got to put in the reps. We got to do the work. That's how you actually get good. We've got to shift away from the idea that this is an information taking in art form. It is a physical art form, and we got to put in the physical work. So let's do it. So I'm going to set the metronome here to 2 and 4 to a nice easy tempo. We're going to do a bar of C minor 7, our 2 chord. We're going to do a bar of B7 sus, our 5 chord really, right, with the tritone sub. And then we're going to do 2 bars of B flat major 7. Now I want you to start very simply by just playing the voicings. Let's just go through a couple times and play the voicings. You can add your own rhythm to this. You don't have to, if you can play whole notes if you want. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can add your own rhythm. And we're just going to loop these 4 bars, right? We'll just loop this 2, 5, 1 for a while. Just practice with your left hand. Get those voicings, get that muscle memory of the voicings in. And you might think as you go, 2, 5, 1, right? To try to ingrain how you think about it. You also might think C minor 7, look at your hand, B7 sus, B flat major 7. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Just focusing on the voicing at this point. Just locking it in. One more time. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not even going to stop the metronome. Let's keep going. We'll do the same thing. This time, let's add those notes from the pentatonic scale. Now, you don't have to just play that, you know, literally just up and down. Just try experimenting with the notes. Get familiar with the... I am going to stop the metronome because I want to talk a little bit. Get familiar with the keys that we're doing, the scales that we're doing, and how they feel in different positions, right? Go as fast or slow as you want. Try to make melodies with these. It doesn't have to be also cookie cutter or angular. You can try to be melodic with these. Try not to do that. Let's try it. So now we're going to keep our left hand going, though, right? It's important that we lock in these voicings even as we do our right hand. But let's add in the right hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Let's do one more at this tempo. Here we go, one more. All right, very, very nice. I hope you have a little bit of a handle on what we're doing here. Let's take the tempo up. Let's do this. This is a nice, good tempo. It's going to be fun here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Last time. All right. Very nice. Very, very fun. Isn't that great? As a pianist, when you can do that very simple fourths voicing thing over a 2-5-1, just going up a half step up the 2-5-1, and then line up those pentatonic scales, it just is so much fun. And the more time you spend with these, the more they're just going to lock in as far as the shapes of the pentatonic scales in every key. You're not even going to have to think about what the notes are. It's just going to be like a fun time thinking about the rhythms you want to play and about the general shapes you want to play. It's just super fun. So much fun that we can take this through other keys. How about a 2-5-1 in F? We're just going to transpose this. Remember, we can transpose any of this so that G minor 7 will start on the fourth again, that C, even though it's a little low, right? Right, here's our G minor 7. Here's our 2-5-1 in F, right? G minor 7, C7, and F7. Well, that C7, we want to use, again, that tritone substitution. So we'll do an F7 sus going to our F major 7. So again, the bass movement is G, F sharp, F down in half steps, right? So C7, F7 sus, woo, and F major 7. So our voicing for our G minor 7 starts on the fourth, on the C. And then we just move that up in half steps, right? Our F7, our F sharp 7 sus starts on C sharp. And we use the C minor pentatonic scale, or E major. What's so cool, too, about this pentatonic movement, right? That C sharp minor pentatonic, it's also E major pentatonic. And E major is like a half step below F. So like a lot of common notes that are just under it that are going to resolve up, even though we're going to C major pentatonic for our F major 7. Oh yeah, let's do it. So again, let's just start with just the left hand. We'll just do a few times through just left hand. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and again, you can change the rhythm up or not. You can play just the whole notes if you want. We're doing 4 bars, by the way. 2 bars of that F7, F major 7 at the end. So feel free to comp the rhythms you want to comp. One more time with just the left hand. Here we go. I need to not do that ending. This is too modern sounding to do that ending. I'll stop. Okay, let's now add in our pentatonic sounds in our right hand. You can check out the notes available to you here on the graphic. And remember, take it as slow as you like or as fast as you like. If you practice a lot of pentatonic scales, this might come very naturally to you. But it's important to just be able to register the key we're in and the scale region that we're in so that we can start using it in shapes. Right, we don't want to just be in a mode of going straight up and down. We want to be able to use several different shapes. Like ergonomically with our hand as pianists, it makes such a huge difference. Let's try it. Let's add our right hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then don't forget those left hand voicings. Super important part of this. We want to lock those in. more time here. It's almost like I don't know how to end exercises without doing that somewhat corny ending. All right. Let's just take it up. Not even going to stop the click. I really am not this time. I promise. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... One more time. Good enough. Good enough ending. I don't even know why I'm worried about the endings. It's not about the endings. It's about what we're doing when we go to work here. And we're going to work on a few keys of this very, I think it's simply, if I have to say, a very clean concept on how to get some really good sounding and easy to understand fourths voicings over 2-5-1 using a cool chord substitution, the tritone substitution. Last key for today, key of C. What else do you want from the key of C? So we're just transposing everything again. So we start our D minor voicing on the fourth, right? G, C, and F. And just if we look at the left hand only, if we look at the voicings, we just go up in half steps. The tritone substitution of the 5 chord, the 5 chord would be G7. That tritone substitution is D flat. So again, we'll use that D flat 7 sus. We take that G, C, and F from the D minor 7. We just take it up a half step. A flat, D flat, G flat. Bam. Take it up one more half step for the 1 chord. C major 7, right? We have A, D, and G. And our pentatonic voicings for this are D minor, right? Not our voicing, sorry, our scales. All right, we have D minor, A flat minor over that D flat 7 sus, right? B major, could think of it like that if it's easy to remember. To C major 7, so a G major pentatonic. But let's start with the voicings. Just the left hand only. I will play the bass and we'll just go a few times through so you can lock in those left hand voicings. Again, you can do just the whole notes. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could add your own rhythm. 2, 3, and 2. 1, 2. Let's try it. 2, 1, 2, 3, and. just focusing on the voicings for now. I'm going to get to the right hand in just a second. Let's lock them in. Ooh, that's fun. One more time with just the left hand. I just totally gave up on the ending. That happens sometimes too. Okay, let's try. I'm in my head about the endings of these exercises now. I'll figure it out. Let's try adding our right hand. So I've given you these example notes. Now, these, again, are just a suggestion. If you have other ideas of what you want to play pentatonic-wise over any of these chords, feel free. Like the C major pentatonic might work really well over that D minor 7. There's a whole bunch of options. Let's try it. Add in your right hand however you want. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. You do want to maintain that left hand, though. Still, all about these voicings. Stickiness there. Sticky key. It's getting humid. One a little bit extra because everybody said they liked the slower tempo. Work it out. Get those shapes together. One more time. I'm going to try to end this. There it is. That's the ending I want. All right, let's do one more play along session. Let's go for broke here. We're going to go fast-ish. It's not really that fast. not even that bad. We got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. More time. All right, here's the ending. Good enough. Good enough. All right. Isn't that fun? It's a really, really simple thing. I really encourage you to take it through some more familiar keys and some less familiar keys. I mean, even in hard keys, like especially like things like E or something like that. Keys like E, keys like A, keys like D flat. That tritone sub is actually a pretty easy chord, right? It becomes, you know, an F7 sus. That's the 5 chord going to E. It can be like a real highlight to hit that. So get those in your fingers. Thank you, everybody, for practicing with me today. We are going to try to continue to expand on these. You can also join us over at openstudiojazz.com. We do this every day over there on the guided practice session. We've got some folks here in the live chat from our guided practice session. We got a great community of musicians over there, pianists practicing every day with me at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can just go ahead and become a Piano Access Pass member, and you get that as part of your membership. You can hang out with all of us on Zoom every day and practice however you like. You also get the app that we have that is the guided practice app. Super fun. So go check it out. There's a link here in the description to openstudiojazz.com. Worth your time to go check it. And yeah, happy practicing.